Okay, so this is talking about how to relieve yourself so you can receive from your ancestors, okay? So today we are talking about, it's not day, it's night. Tonight we are talking about how to relieve your senses, especially your sense of sight. How to relieve your sense of sight so that you can receive from your ancestors. Another sense that we have to relieve is your sense of touch. Okay? Your sense of touch also needs to be relieved a little bit. Just for the moment, just like your sense of sight. Okay? If you can just do a little bit of swaying, slow, emotional stretches through the back of your neck and your shoulders and your lower hip. Your lower back, right above your hips. Okay, that area you're stretching through as well. It's the same process of receiving, right? You receive through your root, the same way you receive a child, or, the thing it takes to make a child. If you've got a vulva. Okay. So, bring you into the space. I just did a little finger shimmy. You feel that? So, just kind of landing here. What we're talking about when we're receiving from our ancestors is recognizing our surroundings. But it's kind of like you're in the desert, right? Or someplace like the Serengeti. And much of your surroundings are the same, right? There's a very synchronistic look to nature out there. It's very integrated. So in the Serengeti, there are lays and lays of land that look the same. Beautiful. Beautiful land. And then every so often, there are trees and there are animals and there are watering holes, like magic, okay? When you're in the Serengeti, it's a very magical place. Very magical, very filled, teeming with life. And you can look into one space and see one thing, and look into another space and see something else. It's very interesting, it's very mystical, because it's very much so ruled by the elements. So remember your surroundings, because much of your ancestry is made up of elements on Earth. You can connect with the elements, you can connect with many, many ancestors. Okay? You really feel the elements. Feel what the temperature is in your room. What does it feel like? Is it warm? Is it kind of cool, a little cold. See the ends of your toes, they feel loose, or your fingers, they feel tense, they feel relaxed. How do you feel? Feel your body. So here, what do you see? Look around you, what do you see? See your space, you see a home. Or you look at that thing, you see an eye. You're like, oh my god, what the fuck? And you look again, you know, it's just the knob and the thing. Our ancestors are shapeshifters, okay? They come in really fast, and then they go. Because they also don't want to scare you, right? Because you're looking for someone that looks like a person in your surroundings, but then you're alone. So, do you really want to suddenly see a person? Probably not. That's a little scary. So instead, you want to see things that slowly begin to attach you to the idea that it's true, that your ancestors surround you, that they're always here for you, that they're right there next to you. Right? So you want to look at your surroundings and imbue them with the energy, with the life force, with the vitality of your most loving ancestors. The ancestors who care about you, they care about you. They're rooting for you, that's their baby, they love you. Okay, they love you. They are carrying you, they are whispering in your ear, they are kissing your cheeks, they're pinching your cheeks. They're shaking your stomach, patting you on the bum, they're kissing you. They love you, they love you, they love you, they love you. Okay? So those ancestors, they would do anything. Are you kidding me? They'd do anything. You are their child. Like, you are the next up. like it's you. They care about you, okay? They really care about you. And that also goes for the pets in your life. Some of the pets in your life are your ancestors. But, yeah, and I mean, well, some of your children, yeah, like most of your kids. But yeah, okay, so let's get into how to receive my ancestors. So there are so many different ways that you can receive. You can use divination. You can use what's it called? Singing, songwriting, dancing. Basically, any form of communication is a way for you to receive. Writing is a great way. You can listen and then receive, but I recommend writing or recording or doing something like that. You need to be able to get down what you're talking about. Okay, like it's not, don't just sit there and then receive and then not record it. You need to record it. Record when you receive something. So get yourself ready for that by having a journal, by having your computer, by turning on your camera, by turning on your voice notes. But when you get into a meditative state, have something there to record. Because if you don't, if you're not in the act of recording, you are not going to remember. Recording helps you remember. Literally, if it was science, it would be like step 1, record. Turn on your recording. Either turn on as in grab a pencil and a paper and start writing, or turn on as in start singing, or turn on as in turn on your camera, turn on your voice notes, or turn on as in start dancing, And that is the process that begins you to receive. But you've got to be doing something that has to do with recording. Okay, you need to record. So step 1, record. Step 2, receive. Step 2 is receive, so do the thing, right? Begin talking, begin thinking. I would begin talking if I were you. The brain is a very complicated place. We all know this. And the brain is like really, really like the subconscious. Like the brain is the gray. The brain is the gray area if there ever was one. So instead of thinking, why don't you talk it out? Because talking it out engages your soul. It is your third, is it not your third? Yeah, your third chakra. Fourth? Whatever. It's the blue one. It's the blue one. Your brain. I mean, you talking out loud, right? That's communication. So that is way more helpful than thinking, because thinking isn't really communication. Thinking is something different. Okay? It's like an action, and it's a psychic action. When you think, it's a psychic action. It's not really communication, because it's not always really saying anything. You know how people can talk and not say shit? Like, thinking can be that. But talking is communication. So the next part is communicating. And then step 3 would be listening. Listen to what you're saying. Think about what you're saying. So instead of just thinking, start to speak, or if you really just want to do this inside of your head, start to think about something specific, right? You need to pick a path and go down it. One of the reasons why meditation can be so frustrating and uncomfortable for people is because it's very, very hard to meditate if you're trying to focus on nothing at all, okay? Because that is a concept and a process within itself. Nothing is not actually nothing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Nothing is its own soul, its own spirit, its own entity. Nothing is everything. That's a very, very broad, very, very complex, very, very hard, difficult energy to receive beyond. When you are thinking about nothing, it is very, very hard to receive, right? Because nothing is massive and nothing is dense. It's hard for any other energy to move through that and come to you. So instead of trying to focus on thinking about nothing as you meditate, think about something that you would like to know. Ask a question. Ask a question and then think about that question. Okay? Because that's where some thoughts are going to be received. You pick a path, your ancestors are like, okay, cool. You want to talk about marriage. You want to talk about love. Okay, cool. Though we can talk about that a lot. Let's talk about business. Let's talk about your brand. Let's talk about building your brand. Okay, that's what you want to talk about. Start to think about it. So either if you're writing, start to write about your brand. Start writing about it. Start writing what you're thinking. Start doing that. If you want to talk it out, I like to talk things out. So then start talking about your brand. Okay? So let's give you an example, because I'm going to talk about the brand, and then I'm going to start to think about what I just said. I'm going to analyze what I just said, and that analysis comes from a higher realm. That's feedback. When you analyze what you are saying, that's feedback. That's self-processing, right? You're using the different parts of your brain. It's critical thinking. When you start to analyze, that comes from a higher realm. So now you're beginning to attach your crown chakra to the higher realms and begin to receive. So then your ancestors can start to drop things down that hole and give you things so you can receive. But first, you've got to open up that hole by thinking critically about what you just said. Okay? So think constructively, think productively is basically what I'm telling you to do after you pick a path. And then we'll see what the ancestors drop in there we'll see what the ancestors drop, and I'll tell you, and so you can know that this is actually happening and that you're not crazy, even though you're just going to have to trust. Because on some level, especially if you're super integrated with your ancestors, which many people are. Many of us, most of us are very integrated. So as soon as you are very integrated with your ancestors, you're going to need to be more discerning if you want to pick apart what's really like what's coming straight from them, and then what's just your original thinking process, because it's all really one and the same. Okay, so it gets complicated, but hold on. I'm stretching my back a little bit. Just breathe, just relax. So we're going to think about, in this example that we're going to do, we're going to think about our personal brand. Okay. So we're going to think about our personal brand and how we can build it. Okay? We're entrepreneurs. We are career creators. We help people build their dreams through us building our own. We are teachers. Okay? An entrepreneur is a teacher, a creator in business. Okay? It's a very special gift. And you have it. You have the gift of entrepreneurship. So, let's begin to think about who you are as an entrepreneur. Who am I as an entrepreneur? I'm stealthy. I'm wealthy. I'm creative. I'm assertive. I'm structured. I understand myself. I'm organized. But I also am flexible. I can move with the energy. I can dance in the energy. And I can also understand when I need to just stop and just give it a rest and go somewhere else and do something else. I'm in control. I'm in control of my life. I know how to do this. I'm excited to do this. I want to do this. I live to do this. I'm ready to do this. This is something I've always wanted to do. This is something that I'm passionate about. And I'm really excited for the opportunity to be able to receive information about what exactly is my thing, because I know it in so many different ways through all of my hobbies and my passions. I understand it, but I'm still trying to figure out exactly what the shape and the figure looks like. I want to hold it. I'm trying to hold it in my hands. I want to be able to create something here, down here, that is attached to it. I want to be able to see it on a screen. I want to be able to hold it in my hands. I want to be able to feel it and speak it and hear it back to me. I want that. So how do I do that? And what is the function, the system within in which I'm going to do that? How do I build that? Right? I'm trying to build up a system. How do I build that system? There are different notes, there are different pipes, pipelines, processes, details to it. How do I shape that? How do I configure that? You have to work with sound, you have to work with the language. What is the language? You have to be able to understand that space. And being able to understand that space is very mechanical. It's very pharmaceutical. It's a mechanized experience. It's mechanization. It's a mechanic. You are a machine. Understand your machine. How does your machine work? There is a manual. There is a manual. That manual might not always be legible, might not always be tangible, but there is a manual. And you can manage this space. You're meant to manage this space. You're a manager. So how do you become a manager? How do you learn how to do that? And you can sway your body, move in a circle, whatever helps you to receive, to lay it down. How do you become in this role? How do you move in this role? It's very helpful if you can set the pace, if you can set the tone, if you can make it so that this is a safe space to create, to be. You can make this a flexible space, a space that is worthy, that makes people feel worthy, that makes yourself feel worthy. A space in which you can have dignity, you can have pride, you can have integrity, you can be a leader, you can be looked up to, you can be acknowledged, you can be admired, you can be a mentor, and you can be mentored. You have people who want to teach you, who want to help you, who want to support you, who want to show you things because they believe in what you are building and they believe that you have the capacity to build it. There are certain dreams where it's yours, okay? We were the one you sent down here to build this with you. You were the one that we sent down there. We set down here to build this. This is your task. This is your thing. You have to do this, okay? This is your machine to build. How do you do that? You have to look at your surroundings. You have to notice. You have to notice the sight. You have to notice the sound, the color, the sharpness, the movement. How peculiar it all is. How strange it all is. How real it all is. All this life to everything here is real. It's all real. So engage with it. Want it. Want this life. It doesn't even need to be the process of fighting for this life, trying to see every aspect of this life, but be here. Be here, be present, get involved, get invested. Maintain yourself, maintain your energy, maintain your interest by being here. Watching it all unfold, watching it go down. Be present. Bring this energy deep into your world. Integrate it. Integrate the energy in. Remind yourself and remember consistently, constantly that you are here, you are present. If there's something to do for this business, this thing that you love, let's do it. Do it. You already know what it is. Have you already received? Have you already received your purpose or your path because you've decided that you want to be an entrepreneur? Do you know what you want to be an entrepreneur about? Let's see. So we're going to look a little bit at the tarot. We have the Ten of Wands, the Queen of Wands, the King of Pentacles. Okay, so these are all stacked on top of each other with the King of Pentacles at the bottom, the Two of Cups came out of nowhere, well, came behind the King of Wands, and we've got the Ten of Wands, and behind that we've got the Devil. It's been coming out a lot. King of Pentacles has two. So here we have two completely different people. Okay, and they hang in the balance. Oh, okay. So basically, what? Oh shit. What? What? Oh, okay. So it's getting complicated. So I would say that when it comes to receiving from your business, you've got to figure out what you want to say. You've got to figure out what you want to do, what you want to fight for, like what are you interested in, okay? What do you want to keep? What do you need to know? What do you need to understand? First of all, be real and honest with yourself. Are there certain things that you need to hear, that you need to be focused on? What are the things that you need to be focused on? Because if you feel like the deep seated need to understand exactly what is happening and why you're carrying so much baggage, that's not super helpful right now. I think what's the most helpful is you figuring out a plan, organizing what's in your life, organize the pieces, right? Put everything in its place and see it. So you might need to take a bit of quality control of your life. Just look at everything. Take inventory, take stock. Take inventory, take stock of your life, how things are right now. Take inventory and take stock. Okay? Many philosophers are healers. Many philosophers are healers, and their different philosophies are different spiritual remedies to spiritual or global or planetary illnesses, weaknesses. Astrologers are like healers to planetary um, weaknesses. Like they're not supposed to just diagnose, they're also supposed to tell you the healing path or the healing pattern. What's the healing pattern in astrology to heal this planetary sickness, right? They're like the doctors of the planets. But, you know, it takes a certain skill to be able to find the healing path. So it's a, but there's an energy here of like what you seem to be seeing and almost don't want to believe, which is that it's written that you are meant to live a life of joy. It's written that you are meant to be happy. It's like you don't want to see that. Because you're following the rules. You're following the rules too much. Okay? You need to stop following the rules so much. You have your own personal judgment. Sometimes it's not about focusing on what's been written already, what the logic says, what the system says, what people say. It's about what you can see. It's about what you can feel and what you can see with your third eye. Or sometimes what you can see with your surroundings. Are you in a good place? So then see that. See that you are in a good place. You are good where you are. If you're not, see that. But if you are, see that. Okay? And pick which one you want. They're different. Pick. They are different. Okay? You can take your time or you cannot. You can jump headfirst into this, you can deep dive into this, or you can wait a while. There's not really anything wrong with either choice. They're very different choices, very vastly different choices, though. And they're going to lead to completely different experiences of this new age in your life where you are happy. Okay? They're different kinds of joy, very, very, very different kinds of joy. You may not need to pick one necessarily. You may just need to accept that they are both going to happen, actually. Because there might be one that you're like, oh, yeah, that's actually the one I should pick. And so the other one you're ready to let go of. And I think Spirit is saying, actually, you're going to be doing both. You're going to be doing both. So you need to get comfortable with that, because I think that that is the part that maybe you're struggling to accept. You're going to be doing both, okay? You have to do this and you have to do that. That is the job of someone who is a creator in business. At the very beginning, it's a solo project and it's hard. Okay, it's hard. It's very hard. Imagine raising a child alone. It's not the same as raising a business. They're very, very different. But if raising a business was even a tenth as hard, then try to imagine that, right? Because that means it's hard. So be gentle with yourself, be soft, and be honest with yourself. How badly do you want this? Is this the right one? Because if it's not, you probably will see that with your lack of action. Because the part about following your spiritual path, your soul path, the thing that you were meant to do, your dreams, following your dreams, you can't stop. It doesn't matter. You can't stop. So either you do it at the full capacity or you do it a little. You do it here and there. It's the thing that you can't stop doing. No matter what, you can't stop doing it. You just do it. You do it all the time without thinking. It's that deep. For some people, it's super obvious because they're super self-aware of what they do. Not in like a way where they're better than you. They're just very aware of what they do. Okay? If you are not super aware of your like instinctual habits, you need to take some time getting to know yourself. This is actually going to be very fun, so you don't need to run from yourself. You don't need to be like, fuck you, I don't want to be around that bitch. Like, you don't need to be like that, okay? It's going to be really enjoyable, because what you're going to be doing is basically getting to know your inner child, because your inner child is your real self, right? Like, that's who you are. So you're just going to be spending time together. And it could feel like play, like playing with yourself. But also it's just, you know what I mean? It's just getting to know yourself. You need to get to know yourself and stop being distracted by all of the cool battles and things that you could do along the way. You know, you're always trying to get away from yourself and spend time doing things other than be with yourself and see what's going on there. You're always trying to find something to busy yourself with. No. Be with yourself. Just be with yourself. It's totally okay. And I know it's not your fault, because we're often put in a position where, you know, something productive needs to be happening. Even rest, it has to make sense. It has to be for this reason, or, you know, there's all these videos about having a productive rest, and it's just like, what the fuck? Like, all this thinking, all this awareness, so much self-awareness. You can let that part go. Totally let that go. Not everything needs to exist. Yeah, it's just a lot of bickering. It sounds like a lot of noise at the end of the day. And I don't think you want to hear it. I think you're tired of it. I think you're tired of the noise. And you just want something to focus on. You just want something to dedicate yourself to. In some sense, you just want something to dedicate your life to. What do you want to dedicate your life to doing? You can do this. Like, you'd be fine. You're already doing it. You're just not doing it as a business, but you're already doing it. You do it all the time. You do it all the time. So just start to record yourself doing it. Record yourself doing it. Do the thing. Another action or another way to record. Remember we were talking about recording in the beginning? Another way to record is literally to do the thing. Follow your dream. That is the act of recording. You're writing your story. You're writing your manual. You are the author. You are the creator. So that is a way to record. Okay, this is me recording. I'm doing it. You can do it. We can all do it. We know how. We do it naturally. Okay? Just let yourself be. Just let yourself do. Let yourself be here. Try to be as stress-free as possible, but that's not really possible, and that's okay because anxiety is part of it. Part of literally the spirit of entrepreneurship is anxiety. Makes up a huge portion. And there's so many business owners, people know that. And so there's so many people who are following their dreams. I mean, everybody's alive, so everybody is following their dreams. So everybody understands anxiety, okay? Life is anxiety. But it's beautiful. Oh my God, and it feels so good. And it feels amazing, and it's relieving. And then when you start to get tired of it, just let it go.